Let's kick it, B.I.G. Let's kick it, B.I.G. Let's kick it, B.I.G. Oh, yeah. Pirate Radio. Love and Spoonful. Love and Spoonful. Mark Sebastian. Pirate Radio. Love and Spoonful. Pirate Radio has started a new channel. I repeat, Pirate Radio has started a new channel. Pirate Radio has started a new channel. Hey, LA. Yeah, it's Mark Kropka, Love and Spoonful. It's Brian Adams. I took one of those damn allergy things today with the ephedrine in it. Just been tired, man. These allergies are an ass kicker. Yeah, they just be tripping it. Only 72 today. I'm gonna try and pack some more boxes. Love and Spoonful. That's what I'm gonna do. Yeah, allergies have been like crazy this year. Fucking tired. I don't feel like doing anything. Except watching porn. That's an exception. And look at it in America. Hey, Frisky, how you doing? I want to block a couple of these motherfuckers that were on here yesterday. As soon as they pop up, I'm gonna can their ass. There he is. Put a link to your new channel, man. Put a link to your new channel. Repeat. Repeat. Put a link to the new channel. I'm gonna can some motherfuckers today. They have lost their privileges as a chosen one subscriber. They can comment. I'm gonna can their ass. You know, I'll tell you, when you block and you can people off your channel, I learned this through the Master's Protocol and Rules and Regulation book. You don't tell them why. You just can their ass. That drives them fucking nuts. And I'm gonna can their ass. And it's just like when you trip over something, you look back to see what it was that did it. What it was or what it is. Because you could still trip over it again. I'd say what it is. Hey, Rainy Days. Rainy Days, please join Mark's Pirate Radio. He's been treated unfairly. He has been discriminated against because he's Canadian. He's got long hair, and he's not abiding by the protocol. Hammer time, ninja time. Yep. We're gonna get rid of these people. Mark's trying to get some damn pirate radio going. Yeah. Mark just, what are you playing, Russian roulette over there in Canada now? You can't do your pirate radio. You just cut your ass off. They cut your ass off. Mark was right in the middle of a Led Zeppelin song. Bam, they took his ass off the air. Just with a flick of a mouse. Mr. Canadian pain in the ass. I think you can buy an entertainment license and do like bars have to buy them. I think there's a way around that copyright shit. Hammer time, ninja style. Shit, yeah. I'm gonna actually pack some more boxes today. I love this view here, man. I think of this view when I can't fall asleep sometimes. If that doesn't work, I plug in Debbie Does Dallas. Oh, yeah, yep. Not here, now. It's dry today. It's dry. I'm balking and banning. This is Norman Rockwell material. Who was that other fuzzy-haired freak that painted those pictures? Bob something? Yeah, we've been getting a lot of that smoke, too. Wasn't as bad last night. It got cool. Not as bad today. I like it, actually. Provides for some killer sunsets. Yeah, but yours is Celsius. Good old Canada. Hell yeah. Yeah, Mark's a rebel. It's not like a typical Canadian to toe the middle line. He takes a stance and he runs with it. Those old Google Jews are going to wad that Christian up and spit him out. The click of a mouse. He's a fly in their fucking ointment. They'll get you like they did Father Nathaniel. You get on their shit list. You got on the A list. You cut yourself atop to the invisible glass ceiling right away. Yeah, have you fucking doing tricks like they had me doing for a short time. Bob Ross. Oh yeah, I never listened to him talk. Did he sound gay? Put you to sleep with a soft voice. Rainy days. I don't think that'd work for LA. I think she'd like a man's voice instead of that soft gay voice. Am I right, L.A.? She'd like the Terminator's voice. That tiptoe through the tulip voice while you're trying to nod off. Right. This drought's really messing up these farmers. There's people going on a nice vacation. Bob Ross. Yeah. What's today? Thursday? Great day yesterday at Lake Huron. I got 4 terabytes of video I've taken on an external hard drive. Just a recording lunatic since I've been here. I get obsessed with it. I get obsessed with it. I get obsessed with it. Oh yeah, it's a nice peaceful spot. It really is. It's like my favorite view, I think, anywhere I've ever been. It's just got it all. First of all, nobody set it up like it was going to be a great view. It's just regular life. That's got to be a main criteria in a good view. Anybody can, like, you know, have a $1 billion beach made and skyscrapers. But this is just everyday life, and it turned out this way. Well, I-75, it runs east-west as it goes through here, actually southeast, northwest. More westerly, just as it gets a little bit on the other side of this exit. People think they're going north. They're not. You're going west to Houghton Lake, and then it goes north. So right now, over those trees right there, that would be northwest. Right behind me would be southeast. Or this way would be more north. People get fucked up here when they're here. They're not really sure where they're at because they think when you're in I-75 north that it's running north the whole time. Duh. Dumbass. Don't you be trying to put trick questions to me, man. I know where I'm at, goddammit. I know which way I'm facing. Pirate Radio. Mark, when this damn chat gets done, go and post a link to your new Pirate Radio. And I'll pin it. I can't believe people watch these chats after they happen. I never do that. All natural. You gotta be careful on that all natural. There goes a big truck driver. Big old 50-foot trailer. I bet they just drive, your whole career is just being brain dead. Just getting fuel, going to the bathroom, getting some shitty food, and doing it again for 40 fucking years. You got a new philosophy on the new Pirate Radio? They break you down, let you know what's up. Are you gonna go balls out, keep doing the same thing? I can tell you this, you don't give a fuck anyway, I don't think, but I'll tell you anyway. Whenever they get rid of a channel and they come back, they're never anywhere near what they were before they canned them. Look at Maddie and Gerald's. They had like 12,000 subscribers at one time. Now I think they have less than 2,000. That's why I tell people, I mean, I've had a great time on YouTube, but I never got caught up in the numbers game. I don't know why, I just didn't. I mean, it was cool, it was fun. But if it went up, great. If it went down, fuck it. So what? I'd rather have like an interactive channel than that. But I'm not jumping through any fucking hoops for lunch money. You know what I'm saying? Those viral videos are a fucking pain in the ass. Hope I never have another one. But what I'm saying is, when you come back the second time, I don't give a fuck who you are. If you've got a following, mine was all mainly algorithms and fucking bullshit. Those early interviews. And if you don't have that stream of getting recommended, you're fucked anyway. But the second time you come around, it's nothing. There's this HSCC. It's a band in Australia, something country club, and they got in a fucking beef with the original people. You know how that shit goes. And they broke up. And the better entertainers, my opinion, the better musicians, the better entertainers, the better looking girls, they got tired of fucking with this guy that started this channel. So they moved and got their own. And I'm telling you, their stuff is 10 times better than the channel they got kicked out of or split from. And I don't think they have 200 fucking subscribers. And if you like them, it was easy to find them once they left. It's just a weird like thing in social media. Once you get your ass canned out of there, I bet you if I got canned from YouTube and started another one, I bet I wouldn't have fucking 200 subscribers in the next 10 years. I bet I wouldn't. No way. Never happened. That was just a fluke bullshit deal. Had nothing to do with like great content or anything. Yeah. Oh, you like him? But if you start doing that bullshit on your new channel, see, you're lucky on YouTube. They don't ban by IP, no, by MAC address. They don't ban by IP address either. So Facebook's the other way. When they get rid of your ass, you got to go through more hoops to get on there and get on there again. They don't do it they can get you by your IP address. Depends if you have a dynamic one or not. And if they don't, I think they double block everybody with a MAC address, whatever machinery you're using. And you can't get on that motherfucker if you're trying to go through like a VPN, virtual private network. So it is, I'm not saying there aren't ways to do it, but the average Joe's not doing it. Strawberry fields forever. The difference in what, LA? The difference in what? I'll spell it out to you. Fucking viral videos. Yeah, I love Del Rey, man. That was one of really, I know it sounds crazy, but that's like one of my highlights in my life. Just to go down there when it was in that state of affairs and, knew it as a kid and saw, now that whole area has basically been tore up and a bridge is there. So I'm glad I got to experience it that way. IP address is where you're getting your internet signal, but sometimes they're dynamic through either the provider or your email account. Like it used to be hard for them to nail perverts downloading porn through AOL because the IP was constantly changing. It was a dynamic IP, so every time you signed on, it was different. And with an IP, you can have 10 people in a household using that internet access, which your internet service provider has, and then everybody has an independent MAC address, the number that identifies what piece of machine you're using, a phone, a laptop, a desktop, whatever, that kind of thing. MAC's the way to go, because that way you can start every, fake name you want, and you're still not getting in because you're using the same device. There are ways you can get around it. I haven't fucked with it in a long time, but it makes it much more difficult. Yeah. The internet's so much safer than it used to be, man. I mean, I can't tell you the last time I got a fucking virus, except the herpes virus. Thank God I don't have that. If I am, I'm asymptomatic. Any disease I get, Any disease I get, I want to be asymptomatic. But that's how they nail you. And also too, in the old days, you were trying to get a person's hard drive. I'm a little rusty on this. I'm not really sure, but now they I've read where the keystrokes are recorded in the BIOS, which I believe, but I just don't. It couldn't possibly keep them all. So I'm a little, I'm not doing any crooked shit. So it doesn't matter to me. They can check my IP address. And if you're secretive and you don't want to know, people fucking with you and shit, you can get a virtual private network. I've had them before. And then you can go through the Onion, the dark web browser. But I ain't into that fucking bullshit, man. If I don't like you, I'll send you a fucking email with everything on it. My IP, my Mac. None of this secret fake name shit. Yeah, it'll have one. Yeah, that's exactly right. One IP address and then different MAC addresses for everybody's individual piece of machinery they're using. That's exactly right. But sometimes with some providers that it's there are more that are static, the same. You have the same IP address for your house all the time. And I don't really know the ratio anymore. But that's why when they catch these perverts and shit, they get the IP address, they know what house it's going to. And then to get the person themselves, they know what MAC address is used. That differentiates who's using that service in that portal. It's interesting I just looked this up not long ago, we set like an internal network up, a small mini server where we live in Florida. And I don't really know that much shit about that shit, but we have a gigabyte speed, which is fucking smoking. And during the course of deciding what router to get and what speeds to get, I read an article that said that even though you had super smoking speeds for gaming, that it fucked up streaming. Well, Marty, is getting all this shit. He was paying for it. And he's a big movie watcher. And I thought, well, I'm not going to get this gigabyte service and this smoking service for like my videos. And then he's struggling. And if he's struggling, watching fucking streaming videos when he's paying for all this shit. So I thought, fuck that. So I ordered the books on it. And even though these geek guys know more than the average Joe, not always, I ran it by a couple of them. And I knew they didn't know what the fuck they were talking about. So I just ordered the books and read up on it and found out that it was damn bullshit. And now we've got the fastest internet possible. But I didn't really know too much about that. It's same with signal strength and the amount of units that you have using that internet off the point of origin. Like you'll notice if you've got like 5 people on at the same time, it's going to be slower. And these big like 10 and 20,000 square foot homes with these movie stars, they use what's called the mesh system, which is essentially a mini receiver in every room as opposed to trying to broadcast a single signal a long way. Speed is entirely different than distance. Even though we have smoke and speed, you get 25 feet outside the front of the house and you're fucked. Just because it's a smoking system doesn't mean you're going to get Wi-Fi within a mile of your home. It's two different things. Yeah, that's what they're looking for. So when they raid your house to see what kind of shit you're doing, that's what they're trying to get. They're trying to get that specific piece of machinery. And with text and all that stuff, all that text shit, that's what did the Detroit mayor in. All that text stuff is on a server somewhere. It doesn't matter if you delete them. They got you. Same with YouTube. Deleted videos, they got you. Deleted comments, they got you. But if you want to have fun, I fucked around with it for a couple of years. Go in the dark web. Tor, T-O-R, look it up. It's fun to fuck with. I mean, there's a kind of a thrill to go in and nobody knows you're there. But you're still, in the old days, you know, they didn't have any way of tracing you. But now, you know, with all these engineers and stuff, you're not getting on YouTube and starting a fake account through a VPN because it wants to verify those numbers before it allows you in, no matter where it's from and what the name is. See, in a VPN, you can change the origin of your server anytime you want. There's like 300 of them going at different times. Like LA, if I wanted to log onto a VPN with another email, I could send you a thing and say, hey, LA, you're an asshole. And you'd never know where it came from. But they're not the good emails. That's not happening with Gmail. You can have a fake Gmail account, but you're going to be able to tie it to a computer, or it's going to be hard to have a fake Gmail email address through a VPN server because they're on to all this shit. You can get some of these other VPNs which will give you email addresses with them, but they're never like a legit one like a Gmail. If somebody is using Gmail, that's good for you if they're threatening you, because you're eventually going to figure out what machine it came from. Where the VPNs, you're not. In what way, Double A? Yeah, you can test that. You can test that. It's amazing the people that get 25 megabits per second that do gaming. It's just hard to believe. My download's 256. And no, my upload's 256 and my download is what? My download's almost a gig, smoking. My upload's 256. Can you believe that? Yeah, you can get, like in a deal like your rainy days, you can get an extender that'll help you. Get a good extender. Now, the nice thing is, if you get a good router and a decent internet speed, you can use internet calling, and it'll be way better than you trying to get a cell phone signal outside of your house. If you've got shaky, talking signals where you're at, and you have a decent internet speed, and you get a good router, you'll be able to talk on your Wi-Fi calling. Well, the VPN, it can kind of, this is how it comes back to haunt you. And that is that, my opinion, which of course doesn't mean shit, I think some of those VPN servers are owned by the CIA or the FBI or something. That's just my opinion. And more than you'd like to believe are USA based. If you're going to do hanky-panky on the internet, you don't want a country that has reciprocity with the United States. They're going to have access to all that shit. And even some of the, they try and market these fucking VPNs to like these crazy motherfuckers that have political agendas and that kind of shit. That's how, when they say Aaron Andrews was caught peeing behind a bar last night, they want to try and send that anonymously if they can. That's what it's used for. But if you start using like a VPN for like weird shit, like dope or drugs or some weird sex shit, or you're threatening the president in another country, they'll turn your ass over in a fucking heartbeat. Because on all those VPNs, sooner or later, they need to know the real you, even if it's for just payment. But as long as you weren't threatening the president or doing something crazy, and you were sending emails to your old girlfriend telling her husband has a small cock, you don't have anything to worry about. The big key is criminal intent. If you're trying to hold an airline from taking off or something, you're going to be in major fucking trouble. I don't care where your VPN's from. I think they have some underlying agreement somewhere where You know, when it comes to world security and the safety of people, whether they're going to live or die, they'll cough that shit up in a heartbeat, which I'm fine with. No, and look at all the guys they bust. What was that one website where you could, like, go on and, like, have affairs? Fuck, they caught all sorts of motherfuckers in that. You could, like, have an affair. There's a name of it. It seems like it was a female name or something. Yeah, when they got a hold of that list. I'll tell you another list, too, that's on the hierarchy board for good data, and we're never going to see this baby because I think it was, you know, there's a certain point. Let's say you got a sex scandal in your small town. Big deal. The mayor steps down, his wife divorces him 2 years later, blah, blah, blah. Those happen all the time. But you get a major sex scandal where you got high-level administration, well-known academics like the Epstein story. I guarantee you, man, there's people out there shitting fucking bricks about conversations and text between him and them. And that place was a well-known underage girl party for years. Clinton, Greg Norman, Dershowitz, Prince Andrew. If you read between the lines there, that fucker's into something weird. And that shit still hasn't come undone. And I think there's a level of where so many people are involved in this, and it could be so damaging to an entire country that the CIA starts doing shit. I really believe this, man. You can't have like 25 top American politicians getting busted at the same time for fucking around with underage girls on a private island. It does too much damage. Hey, Blue. Yeah, Ashley Madison. That's exactly right. Ashley Madison, that's what it was. They nailed people. There's tons of people lost their jobs over that shit. A lot of companies will have what's called a moral turpitude contract. And another one, if like you're doing national advertising campaigns, they don't even need to be national. There's a clause in there called unfavorable notoriety. That can get your contract canceled too. That's why when the shit hits the fan with people, Brett Favre is an example. When he sent those dick pics drunk to that masseuse that worked for Minnesota, they canned him the next day. Why? It got in the news. It was unfavorable notoriety. Nobody wants somebody hawking their product, sending dick pics to women they're not married to. The beauty of that is they don't need to be convicted. It doesn't even need to be true. But once some unfavorable notoriety gets in the media, you've got case law on your side to can these motherfuckers. And if you haven't noticed, Brett Favre's endorsement money is pretty much dried up. It's all gone. Private radio, private songs. Lovin' Spoonful. Mark's going to be playing the Lovin' Spoonful. Yeah, it's pirate radio. It's a Lovin' Spoonful. Another thing will happen too. This doesn't happen like it used to be. But someone, let's say you got a, I'll give you an example. I still have an AOL email. I've had it since I had 2 hairs on my pecker. I don't know, I just can't get rid of it, even though I don't hardly ever use it. But once in a while, and when you get on AOL, you're using one server to write, one server to read, another server to store your messages, that kind of thing. And sometimes hacks can steal just part of that. And a lot of times what they'll do is they'll steal your outbox or your inbox on people you've emailed back and forth. That's why you'll hit the panic button. One day you'll get an email from somebody that you know. Well, that's because they copied part of the email addresses between you and that person somewhere along the way. I got one about a week ago and it said, "Hey Tom, Rebecca says you have a small cock. You know, have you ever thought of ordering this?" And it's some, like, you know, supplement to make your dick bigger. And I'm thinking, fucking bitch, man. How I don't have a small cock for starters, and The hell's she doing giving it? It had nothing to do with her. She doesn't even know it's out there. So if I called Rebecca, I know it's not true. I'd say, why are you sending me these fucking emails, giving these people? And she said, I don't know what you're talking about. She doesn't. But they they get email addresses even though they don't know what the content was. I know it sounds crazy. So don't fall for those. Yeah, don't fall for them. I've had a couple in the last month. And if you don't know any better, you're just accusing these people of like being careless. It's got nothing to do with it. And the way that Google has made all their money, it's digital advertising. I mean, that's why they can afford to have YouTube and run it the way they do, because they don't need the money. Google's money is in digital advertising. I mean, these people are fucking so ahead of the game, it's ridiculous. They got the most coveted thing you can ask for nothing, your email address. Because they made you use it to set up a YouTube account. Now they take that email address and they got all your data. And when you click on the terms of agreement, can we look at your pictures, your contacts, all that shit? They got everything they need. You're very valuable to them by virtue of just signing up for YouTube. And then what they do is all the shit that you search while you're on Chrome, it takes your data, bundles it, and strips the identifying information off it. Like you, LA. If you're up and you're looking for double dildos at least 14 inches long, you're scrolling through there and you're making sure nobody's watching you and all that kind of bullshit. And then the next morning you get up and you turn on your computer and the first thing you get is advertisements for double dildos, just like you were looking for, 50% off for 2 for 1. You think, well, how did they know that? That's exactly how they knew it. They don't know it's you, but they know that that's your IP and MAC address and that those two are associated with looking for double dildos. They don't know it's you, but it doesn't matter because when you're advertising, that's where Google makes their money. So all of a sudden they've got 20 companies out there that sell double dildos and you're being directly marketed even though they don't know you as an individual. They just know you by your search name. That's where the money's at. And YouTube and Google make so much money for that. Unrelated to YouTube, they got the best of both worlds. They got your searching history, they got your email address, and they got digital advertisers sending you stuff, not really knowing who you are as a person. It's perfect, man. It's the biggest money-making deal in the world. Now, lately, there's been some, issues brought up about confidentiality and your data's worth money, and fuck, man, they've made enough damn money to buy all the planets in the solar system. That cat's out of the bag. But that's why it's YouTube and nobody else, because they can afford to fund a server for free based on all the other income they have unrelated to YouTube itself. I mean, it's a perfect. This would be like having someone own the sun and selling you time when it came up and set and shit. It's right up there with that, I'm telling you. They got it. Seriously, man. That was a sticky part in that Casey Anthony trial. And what it was is where it gets a little sticky, especially on my keyboard, is when you've got multiple people using the same machine. And that became a part of quite a legal argument with Casey Anthony. The mother, Casey, said she never searched that shit. And the mother said she didn't either. And the dad said he didn't know how to use the computer. But they knew that 3 people were using that computer. So who was searching how to chloroform a baby? See what I mean? But you're not doing, that's how they catch all these people trying to kill Michigan's governor. It's easy. You communicate on a computer, man. You might as well write him a letter and sign it. Yeah, it was a horrible case. Now, Marty told me that he watched a documentary on her. I think it's 5 hours long. He said he didn't think she killed the baby. And he's pretty good at like ascertaining what's what. Did anybody on here watch that Casey Anthony documentary? Did anybody watch it? Oh, really? Marty thinks the dad killed the baby. Yeah, right. Yeah, body language isn't a true science, though. Yeah, that's a good theory. Yeah. Yeah, they did. Yeah, he was. I guess in that documentary, I knew he was fired as a cop, but I guess he got caught stealing money. All right, hang on one sec.